cigarette smell. The morning was still fine, but when I looked up again, the sky was already gloomy. For travelers, this must be a disaster for the new morning. But for someone who works from home like me, it is a blissful time. This kind of weather always makes my imagination work wonders, and I am able to produce a lot of good work. I grabbed a cup to make coffee and went out to stand and watch the rain, making sure not to get wet by the raindrops. Amidst the smell of the rain, I could smell a faint smell of cigarette smoke. I exhaled in annoyance and glanced at the wall of the next room. I had never seen his face, but I could always smell the cigarette smoke coming from there. I once wrote him a letter saying that the cigarette smoke was bothering other people, but he still continued to smoke in his room. "Could you please go smoke on the roof? The smoke is coming into other people's rooms. It's dangerous for your lungs," I shouted at him. I heard a chuckle. "I'm too lazy to go up," he replied. It was the first time I had heard his voice clearly. "Then quit smoking. It's disturbing other people," I said in an annoyed tone. "I'm not quitting," he replied. I decided to walk out of my room and ring his doorbell. I stood there for a while and heard the lock being unlocked. When the door opened, all the words I had prepared were swallowed back down. I had imagined his face in many ways, but I didn't expect him to be so handsome. He leaned against the door and folded his arms, looking at me questioningly. "What is it?" "I'm from the next room. I'm really bothered by your cigarette smoke. Before you came, I used to sit on the balcony and write novels. But now that you're here, I can't write anymore. I have to close the door, but sometimes the smell still gets into my room, and it gives me a headache, and I can't work. If you can't stop smoking, then go smoke on the roof instead." "I'm too lazy to walk up," he said, with an annoying tone. "You!" I tried to take a deep breath and stop myself from accidentally punching my neighbor. He raised his eyebrows and pulled out the cigarette that was tucked in his pants and put it in his mouth, about to light it in front of me. I immediately snatched it away and glared at him. He didn't say anything, just opened and closed the lighter with a click. "Are you single? Do you have a boyfriend?" he asked. My cheeks flushed. "Probably not," he continued. "My business is none of your business." "We're talking about cigarettes here," I said in an annoyed tone. "I'm single. I can quit smoking for you, but you have to help me," he said with a smirk. "How can I help you?" I was about to say that it was your business, but I stopped myself because I knew that quitting smoking was not easy. "How can I help you? Tell me quickly so we can live in peace for once." I started to get even more annoyed. "Like this," he said, and then he leaned down and pressed his lips against mine. He kissed me lightly, and I just stood there, stunned by the situation. My body was stiff, but my heart was racing like it was going to explode. "No rejection means you agree." He had just smoked a cigarette, so I could smell the cigarette smoke clearly. It took away all my senses. I couldn't get my mind back. After that day, I started to become addicted to the smell of nicotine from cigarettes. It gave me a raw but warm feeling, especially when the smell came from his breath as he nuzzled my cheek.